Hello and welcome to Starcast from Planet Waves. I'm Eric Francis Coppolino, your friendly neighborhood astrologer, here with the edition for the second day of April 2026. Just past the full moon. Welcome and thank you for joining me. This edition accompanies weekly horoscope number 1599. That's a few. That does not include daily horoscopes. It does not include annual horoscopes. It does not include seasonal horoscopes. There's about 600 daily horoscopes in the archive. Anybody use that thing? I'm the only horoscope writer on the entire internet who has archived every horoscope I have written going back to the first days of Planet Waves, 1999. We probably add some going back to, we can fish them out going back to 1996. That would be 30 years of horoscopes. But the Oracle does exist and is available to subscribers. You can look up any horoscope for any day, any year, any sign, and even by searching by keyword. It's quite a little thing. All right, so I want to begin with a topic before I get into any current stuff, and I've done a pretty good job writing about the current stuff a couple of times, including in this issue. But my opening thought is astrology. Why do we do it at all? Why do we bother? Well, here's what I think. As someone who's done it for a while, and along with other modalities of thought and spiritual expression, my practiced understanding of what astrology is that it is a study in the relationship between an individual who is growing and an environment that is changing. I do not believe psychological astrology is an especially valid approach. Sometimes it has its place, but for the most part, the way public astrology is done, the way when I'm writing the horoscope, I'm writing these articles that I share, podcasts that I share. What I'm looking at is your relationship to the environment. This is extremely dynamic because the environment, especially now, is constantly changing. We are in a technology curve that is already basically pointing straight up to the stratosphere and is going to keep going because Uranus is about to enter Gemini this month. That is going to accelerate technological movement. And people are being affected by this. People are changing all the time. We are having changes to our character updated like iPhone updates that you didn't ask for. We're just kind of waking up to updates. Oh, this is the world that you now live in. Oh, this is who you must be. This is now what you must do. And all of this technology environment stuff is not merely something that we use. It is something that conditions us to be like it. And that means that we are changing. For the first time this week ever, Sean Boyle, one of my kind of AI sleuths, he also runs the UFO Bureau, the Bob Dylan Bureau, and the Baseball Bureau, but mostly he's on the AI thing, sent me an article by some professor out in California who we suspect is actually reading Planet Waves. He said that the technology is making us like it faster than it is becoming like us. We are becoming like it faster than it is becoming like us. I've written this at least 10 times in Planet Waves. I've probably said it 20 times in various broadcasts. It's the first time I've ever heard another person say that, and I don't really care if he stole it. And it is kind of an obvious idea, but if you have to have some background, you have to at least study this in some way. You have to at least think about it. But like a lot of things, we're totally immersed in this environment where people are looking at certain features of the environment, but not looking at the human impact. I'm probably going to open Planet Waves FM tomorrow with a larger discussion of this, but every day I see some brilliant analysis of the AI issue, but in every one of those programs, every one of those vlogs and blogs and podcasts and YouTubes and this and that, I don't hear anyone say what is the present what is the present human impact. What has this already done to us? As soon as you hear one of the, maybe you listen, maybe you don't give a toss, maybe I'm your only connection to the issue, maybe you're frickin' sick of me talking about it. But we are getting to the core reason of what astrology is here to do for us now. I don't hear anyone talking about what it has made us into already, not what we might be in the future, not what it might be in the future. This is scary because it means that the issue is not even being contemplated. You think about, they're going to have AI drones murdering people, places, and autonomous weapons, which allegedly Anthropic refused to use. And we have the thing, you can install an AI assistant and give it access to all of your email and your Slack and your Zoom and everything else, and it'll run your life for you. But nobody's saying what it's already done to us. What has this done to us? It's what it's done to us is not what it's doing in the future, and you don't have to use one of those stupid things, because if all the people around you are, or some of them around you, or this whole society is doing so, you have to have ways to measure your standing, your status. And so what I view astrology as is a study in the relationship between you growing, changing, and becoming, and the environment changing and impacting you. We see all of that in the chart. And I have, as part of my therapy ethos for Planet Waves, I'm trained as a therapist. I'm not licensed as a therapist. And training in therapy is largely about ethics and how you work with someone and you don't turn them against themselves. This is the art of therapy, is to help people be their own friend. And in the therapy ethos of Planet Waves, I have always downplayed the importance of astrology, and I have certainly, until recently, never made a case that it serves a singular purpose, that it does something that nothing else can do. As the digital age, as this age of AI war starting in 2022, these massacres, one after the next, Ukraine, Gaza, Beirut, and Tehran, and all the other places that are taking bombing that we're not even hearing about as a result of these three major military conflicts, wars. We used to call them wars. I don't hear anyone talking about the actual human impact of living in this not only automated environment, but in a hyper-automated environment where things are becoming autonomous. And what is it like to be relating to people, even if you don't do this, even if you would never have a gardening bot to plant your tulip bulbs? Wouldn't that be a great idea? Can you have a little Roomba, the little gardening Roomba with like extra large wheels, and the cat can ride around on it? Even if you don't have one of those gardening Roombas, I have an account with an AI graphic thing that I'd use for the April Fool's Day issue. I should make one of those. People around you are using Roombas. Would you use a Roomba? Maybe you would. I'm always surprised what people what robots people will bring into their homes. But as we continue to live in not only an automatic environment, but an automated environment, but an automated, robotic, autonomous environment, this is impacting everyone. And I think that the most helpful tool right now to see this happening, to see the internal dynamics within your consciousness, and to see the environmental dynamics playing out in society and see where they meet, it's going to be very helpful. Now, you might think, why do I need to do that? Well, I would say you need to do it so that you can be less pissed off and less confused and less living like there is no purpose to anything, because this is consuming the future. Consuming the future. Telling me $200 billion to bomb Iran and Beirut was not consuming the future. It's consuming a generation of our military people. It's consuming debt. It's massacring people in Iran and Beirut and Israel who are getting killed. People are getting killed everywhere. We are in the middle of a massive generational disruption. And what astrology provides is at least some potentially objective metric of the passage of time and of growth and of becoming. So when I give you the aspects, when I write the horoscope, this is what I am tracking. I am looking at your relationship as a living, growing being to the environment around you, which is largely invisible, very confusing, very difficult to navigate, absolutely technologically overwhelming. Well, this is a form of, there's a sort of a huge psychic barricade being created, this maze, this labyrinth being created. Well, I think that astrology, because it is based on objective cycles and symbols that are at least steady and solid in their meaning, archetypes that have reference points, this is how we will be able to find our way. Should we use it? As Adrian Rich said, there are methods, but we do not use them. And I would say, let's use this method. So let's go ahead and use this method. Now, what's been going on as the year, the first quarter of the year has been dominated by the buildup of Saturn conjunct Neptune and Chiron conjunct Eris. Those two cycles have now reset, and we are on the early side of those cycles. We are on the beginning side. So planets cleared Pisces. That's the end of the zodiac. They've entered Aries. So this is indicates large cyclical measures. You know, to read about planets entering Aries in old astrology textbooks, this was treated with tremendous reverence. I'm not sure if it was Evangeline Adams or Isabel Hickey. I read a little essay in one of their books about the how important it is when Neptune enters Aries. Now, this was before Pluto was well understood, but still, discover Pluto, that does not diminish anything from Neptune. So now we've got Neptune in a whole new cycle in Aries and Saturn in a whole new cycle in Aries, and they formed a conjunction. So all of that big stuff has kind of let up a little bit. Now we're kind of like on that airplane, all the stress of like boarding and packing and all, well, packing in the taxi cab or the car drive and the boarding and the traffic jams and all. That's all not in order. Once you're on the airplane, you're not worried about the traffic jam. So here we are on those airplanes. All right, great. So now the territory is moving again, and it's going to be moved by Mars. That's what's going to be. Mars is going to be the main actor as it clears Pisces. Let me open this up. As it clears Pisces and then enters Aries. So we have a lot of, this is going to be a very busy sky as a result of this, because there's still this big concentration of planets in Pisces and Aries right now. And Mercury is still working its way out of Pisces. So that whole zone of the Omega and the Alpha, the last and the first, the Delta of Venus, which is Pisces, and then the new territory, which begins in the Sabian symbols with a woman arisen from the sea. A seal is embracing her, an image of Venus being born in the first degree of Aries, being that is the Sabian symbol for the Aries point, by the way. Totally 5 times over random, the creation of humanity. Humanity steps up out of the sea. It is so perfect. It's unbelievable that series of symbols was actually just channeled randomly. A woman arisen from the sea. A seal embraces her, first degree of Aries. After all that Pisces, so we're going to have Mercury and Mars in Pisces for a while. Now, most of the next week and more. For example, Mercury enters. Mercury will. Well, let's just do a couple of other ones. First, one of the more emotional aspects to consider is happens on Friday. Venus and Taurus square Pluto and Aquarius. So this Venus and Taurus is sensual. It is physical. It is human. And Mercury and Aquarius. Pluto and Aquarius is this new robotic era that we are in. And so it is where real feelings meet the synthetic digital realm. And this can be lonely to have real feelings. It's one of the reasons why people will suppress their feelings, because if they feel, they're likely to feel lonely. And so the cycle builds on itself, and you're in an environment where you find like, who can you even relate to? And now as an older man, I can tell you that people generally, especially young people, have never been less interested in me. Like, I've got to really get them laughing or charm them to get a conversation going. And so as we grow older, the world already gets more isolated. Now we're in this world where pretty much everyone is communicating by some kind of back channel. Anything but a real face-to-face encounter in the environment is becoming the norm. The back channel of communication is becoming the norm. So as this happens, we have Venus square Pluto. Well, that can stir up longing. This is the kind of thing where, depending on where it lands in your chart, you may have not had sexual feelings for the last 5 years, and suddenly you find yourself in the middle of all of this longing, and like sexual passion or pain or lust or something like that, not knowing what to do with it. This is evolutionary. This is about growth. The square is calling for some form of action. The tendency will be to suppress. Okay, don't. Try, just let it out, baby. Say how you feel. Tell yourself. Tell someone else. Write it down. Make some art about it. April 5, Sun square Jupiter. I'm not going to give days of the week. My mind does not work that way. April 5, Sun square Jupiter. It's happening now. Exactly on April 5. This is about kind of aggrandizement, enlargement, egotism, bigger, bigger, bigger. Everything's got to be bigger. Everything's got to be better. Everyone's got to be hotter. Everyone's got to have the most visits, likes, and hits. This is kind of the classic ego trip aspect. Do something useful with it. Do something useful with it. You could certainly do something to further your reputation in some way, but Jupiter square to the Sun square Jupiter properly, is not given to good judgment. So wait till the next day. April 9th, Mercury in Pisces square. Mercury in Pisces comes out of shadow phase. This has been a brutal Mercury retrograde as they come. This one, the only one I can compare this to was the one in 2020, the one where they set up the MN 908947.2 pandemic. Is anyone closely following my work on the COVID thing well enough to know what MN 908947.2 is? That's something. Think about it. Try typing it into the New York Times index and see if it comes up. So Mercury in Pisces enters new territory, finally clears its second shadow phase after the Mars retrograde. The next shadow phase begins around June 6th or June 7th. So we've got a good work session now. And I sincerely doubt that the forthcoming Mercury retrograde is going to be as complicated as this past one. The planets will have fanned out considerably, and it will not be packed. But till now, Mercury is going to be conjunct Pallas Athene. It's going to keep moving through this territory. Then it's going to go into Aries. So meanwhile, March 9th, Mars enters Aries. It lights up the personal collective intersection of the Aries point and the scene of the still vibrating Saturn-Neptune conjunction from back in February. Mars will be making many conjunctions over the next few weeks, in a sense, leading the way through this wild new territory of self that we are in. And I get how unfamiliar this is to older people. I need to make this a theme of explaining what I do with my astrology. There's never been a worse generational divide. The younger people think this is absolutely normal, nothing to worry about. Everything's just fine, and it doesn't matter if you don't see the DoorDash guy. It just or girl, it's just like the robot delivered your dinner. Okay, April 9, Mars enters Aries. Great. Next, Mars conjunct Neptune in Aries on April 12th, opposite M87, a fixed point, fixed in space. It's a galaxy. It does not move. It only precesses about a degree per century. That's not transiting. It's just sitting there, moving a little bit as the Earth wobbles very slowly. So it's going to be Mars conjunct Neptune opposite M87. This is volatile. It's a little bit dangerous. And we need to be mindful of this. It's really one of those things calling for mindfulness. That's on the 12th. We're a little bit out of the range of this program. All right, I have for you the Aries reading. This is fabulous. The ad is going to be below. Scroll down a little bit. You'll see the ad. This is a video reading with a written reading for Aries birthdays. It's a solar return reading, a whole new reading as contrasted with Inner Light, Inner Peace. Those both are those readings will last for 5 years. You pick up Inner Light in 5 years, it'll be fresh as a frickin' daisy. Talking about what you're going through then, but this is much more immediate. Looking at the kind of, I localize it a little bit. The annual readings take a little more global approach. I take a little more local approach in the birthday reading. As always, encouraging, clear-headed, and you will learn about yourself and learn about astrology. We're putting up the pre-sale for the Taurus reading as well. And there you go. Thank you to my clients, my subscribers, and donors, and listeners, and people who just help out. Many people help out. Nadine Lalonde helped proofread the horoscope this week. Thank you, Nadine. And love for my friendly neighborhood porcupine who manifested. Yes, I called the porcupine, and the porcupine appeared in my backyard 15 minutes later. For the first time, I am planning a Planet Waves FM for tomorrow night. I am going to offer a tribute to my godmother, Aunt Josie, whose 122nd birthday would be Saturday. Talk about this spiritual digital problem, and I'm going to give a talk in the Tantra Studio portion of the reading, where I will tell you what I think is the answer to all of these ridiculous articles that claim to have science doesn't understand what the clitoris is for. Why can women have orgasms? I've actually figured this all out. I mean, I'm not even that smart, but it wasn't that hard to figure out. So I'm going to give that, and that will be perfectly vivid and not safe for work and descriptive and sexy. So that'll be at the end of the new Planet Waves FM. I'll make sure I either leave a time marker or separate out that segment so that it's easy to find. It will be useful and humane and good for men and good for women. It's good for women and good for men. All right, we're going to go out with. I'm going to play we are playing now the current the exit bed and theme, and then we're going to go into a Talking Head song, which I think is beautifully expository about the world that we live in. And from this song, I am certain that either David Byrne, who wrote the song with Talking Heads, either read Marshall McLuhan or was on to something similar. The song's called Television Man, one of my great favorite Talking Head songs. And if you can block out the lyrics and just listen to the underlying rhythm, I think the rhythm goes, correct me if I'm wrong, 1 and 3 and 1 and 3 and. So check that out. It's really, really catchy, and it has a little bit of Ricky Ricardo to it. The call and the return. It is like this song is. It's almost based on Ricky Ricardo, Lucille Ball's husband in the TV series I Love Lucy, where he would do Santeria on national network television. The only reason the censors let that go is they thought he was just some guy drumming in a nightclub, but he's coming out wearing a mask with a ceremonial drum, and he is doing Santeria. He's a Santero on I Love Lucy in the United States of America in the 1950s when television made us what we am. All right, signing off till tomorrow night. Thank you for listening. Thank you for joining me. Thank you to all who support Planet Waves. Lots of love. And bye for now.